Welcome to the What If Factor Living Beyond the Question Mark podcast with Dr. Williams, the show that inspires you to live a life without regrets, a life beyond the question mark. And now, let's listen to today's episode.
No one told me that being an adult would be so challenging. It's like the world was just standing there on my 18th birthday, waiting to hit me with new challenges and these amazing things called bills. There was no welcome package. Life just said, here you go, and drug away my childhood, kicking and screaming. Talk about letting go. I wanted to know how to return adulthood to sender and take back my childhood. Immediately, I began to understand what my parents and grandparents meant when they said, stay a child while you can. Sometimes I feel like scripture sets you up for the okie doke. You read something like 1 Corinthians 13, and it starts out all nice and sweet. You start saying to yourself, oh, this is nice. Let me keep reading. Then you start getting to the conviction that you find in scriptures. And then you immediately slam on brakes. You say, hold up. We just somehow took a right turn when we should have been making a left. You just told me all of these things. Then you said love is patient and love is kind, which is good. Then you tell me it does not want what belongs to others and it does not brag. Now, I don't know about you, but if I see someone with a nice house, a nice car, the first thing in my mind is, I want that. I like that. So in that moment, I started looking for the exit, like, get me out of here. Because as we know better, we are expected to do better. Once you learn what love is, you are accountable for demonstrating it, not just to others, but to yourself. So after I got up from that soccer punch, I kept reading. This time I proceeded with caution because I didn't know what was coming next. But you get to the part where it says in verse 11, and I'm reading from the New International Reader's Version, when I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I had the understanding of a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me. And I said to myself, wait a minute. Nobody told me I had to let go of something lovely and embrace something that I deemed cruel and unusual punishment called adulthood. But then it got worse. Starting at verse 12, it says, now we see only a dim likeness of things. It is as if we were seeing them in a foggy mirror. But someday we will see clearly. We will see face to face. What I know now is not complete. But someday I will know completely, just as God knows me completely. I said, my God, what on earth did my parents and time get me into? You see, when you blow out the candles each year on your birthday, you think everything is cute and amazing. It's a celebration, time to live it up. You don't think this is all too good to be true. Then you get hit with the fact that what we think we know is only a fraction of the things God knows. While experience broadens our understandings, that still pales in comparison to what God knows. Then you tell me I won't understand it until I reach heaven. At that moment, I kid you not, I wanted to reverse engineer the process of being born into this world and return to heaven. It was a moment of put me back in the plastic. I want to be returned to sender. Because if I was already in heaven, where I had access to the full picture, why on earth would you bring me here to tell me I won't understand it until I reach the place I came from? So here I was, fully in adulthood, making adult decisions, think I knew it all. I said, well, if I'm here and you are sure I can't go back, I might as well make the best of it. There are some things I've learned through the experiences of others, and some things I had to learn the necessary way, or what I call the hard way. You see, one of the greatest teachers you will ever have is called experience. Through experience, we learn what does and does not work. We gain the ability to understand pain and empathize with others who are going through similar struggles. Life happens through us, not to us. If it is happening to you, then you are not learning the lessons you are meant to learn. You see, when we embrace this understanding, then experience can teach us a lot of things about something called survival. When we understand that life should happen through us, we begin to understand those things that are for our good and those meant for our destruction. We understand that some things come into our life for a reason, and we must let go when that season is over. I talk about something I learned from my papa, my grandfather on my father's side. I talk about it in the book, The What If Factor. That as long as you are holding on to something you should have long let go of, God cannot bless you with greater. We have to position ourselves to receive. Otherwise, it's like trying to send an email to someone who has reached the storage limit on their inbox. It just bounces back. They keep sending it, and every time they send it, it just bounces back. It just keeps bouncing back. And then I had a revelation that blessings bounce back because our inboxes are full. We are no longer in a position to receive anything new because we have not cleared out the clutter. Blessings bounce back because you are holding on to things that are toxic and poisoning you instead of letting go so that the blessings of Abraham can be delivered. You say, God, heal me. But when he tries, the healing bounces back because you keep speaking up the pain and finding comfort in its presence. Let it go. It's not better than what lies ahead. Let go of your toxic thinking that leads you to believe that toxic living is the only way to live. Now, I get it. The pain runs deep. Some of you had your childhood taken from you long before it should have ever happened. Some of you never knew what it was like to be a child. Letting it go does not mean it no longer exists. It means the power it has to keep you shackled is broken. It means it does not have a purpose anymore in your life other than being a part of your past. It is your destiny to be a world changer. Open your hand and let go of the things that keep you shackled. I encourage you, I implore you to make room for greater, because greater is he that is within you than he that is within the world.
Thank you for tuning into another episode of The What If Factor, Living Beyond the Question Mark podcast with Dr. Williams. If you would like more information about The What If Factor and where to purchase the book, please visit thewhatiffactor.com. Until next time, remember, in the grand tapestry of life, every thread, vibrant or dull, contributes to a masterpiece that captures the essence of our unique journey. As always, our prayer for each of you is that you prosper and be in good health.